Alright, hello friends. So, how to detox your body after being vaccinated. I'm reading your letters, I'm getting your comments, I'm seeing your fears, worries, and concerns. A great deal of my loyal fans and followers have already been vaccinated. Some of you are about to, whether for employment or whatever reasons, that in fact is none of my business. But I'm getting that input from you that you want this specific video. And I believe at some point during my prosperous YouTube career, I coined a phrase that later became a motto that went something like this: those who are with us will thrive and prosper. Those who are not with us, well, we wish you luck. And thus, I must stay true to my word. Like I said, I'm seeing that you are not thriving and you're not prospering and you are quite concerned about what to do after you've been vaccinated. And thus, let's make this video. Let's get you healthy regardless of what situation you got yourself into or forced into. So, first disclaimer that I need to make is that I'm not a doctor. Everything that I'm about to say is purely my opinion, and you should act at your own risk. Above all, you are responsible for your health. And another point that I wish to make before we begin is what I am sharing with you is that essentially this is my plan of action. This is my system that I would implement should I be vaccinated tomorrow. And so what I'm sharing with you is a battle plan that I created personally for myself. It is largely based on my own personal experiences, and most of the steps that I will be recommending you, I have tested on myself. I know that they work. And in fact, many of you, as we go through them, you'll know, oh yeah, he does that regularly. So it's not just some stuff that I made up. And yeah, prepare yourself for a long video. It's going to be essentially a lecture about health. We got a lot of points to cover, a lot of explanations that need to be explained. Without further ado, let's begin. Now, I've written for myself that it's not step number 1, it's step number 0. Because this is your baseline, this should be your base reality. And that step is that if you got the vaccine, you have been injected with a drug, then what I would highly recommend, and this is my life, this is my reality right now, and has been for many years, over 10, probably 15 years now, is that no more drugs. Be it antibiotics, flu cold medicine, your prescribed meds, or whatever. But with prescription, you gotta be careful. I gotta be careful of what I'm saying, is that if you are taking life-saving medicine or medicine that is vital to your health, ideally you wish to professionally, gradually get off those meds. This is your optimal state of being where you're not taking those medications. But to get off those meds, you need to find a proper doctor, a professional doctor that knows about natural, healthy living, that will be able to competently get you off those meds. But this should be your battle plan. I don't have any fear saying that everybody should get off whatever medications you are taking slowly, gradually, and intelligently until you are taking none. That is the baseline, and you need to understand why. So, I spoke about this before, but here is the reality. I'll remind you. We live in a 21st century in a fairly toxic environment. Our habitat, our rooms, our houses are polluted with toxic chemicals. The paint, the carpets, all of it is made from synthetic materials. Those synthetic materials get into our water. They're in our air. So our body is, from the go, is bombarded by various industrial toxic chemicals. A lot of that we cannot control. So it's in our body. And by the way, this entire system on how to detox yourself from vaccines perfectly works on just detoxing from everything. However, that's layer number 1, toxic industrial chemicals. Then, obviously, there's a lot of chemicals and hormones and pesticides that get into our food, another layer. And on top of that, you start adding drugs, various drugs, at various times of your life. Those drugs have various side effects, and you're creating layer upon layer upon layer of hell knows what. And that toxic cocktail is now in your body. You are that toxic walking cocktail. And so, I assure you, nobody, not the smartest doctors and scientists, know what we as humans in this 21st century are doing to our bodies and how all those industrial, medical, legal, and illegal drugs, chemicals, and so forth react within us. And that's why you're seeing such large outbreaks of very serious chronic diseases, cancers, and so forth. That is why you must start removing some of these layers, removing all these factors from this equation of the toxic cocktail that you're creating in your body. Simplify that equation. Remove as many of these elements and chemicals from your body, and that starts obviously with legal and illegal drugs. Get it out of your system, healthy, intelligently, gradually, and you will be much healthier for it. Like I said, I'm speaking from experience. By the way, if some of you think that I was born this perfect specimen of health, well, you got another thing coming. I will mention it probably shortly in this video of some of my unique experiences, but I was quite heavily medicated since childhood, and I tried various things, and up until my mid-20s, I would say, or early 20s, I took all those drugs, flu, cold medicines, antibiotics, meds, and so forth in large numbers, and I got sick a lot. Anyway, it's a different video. But you got it. This is number 0. This is where your baseline starts. And then we move to step number 1. This is actually the detox procedures when something foreign enters your body, especially a drug or a chemical or whatever. And where you start is this. Right away, you must clean your blood. Blood is everything. And clean blood will keep you healthy. Toxic blood will kill you. So you need to take immediate steps and then continue them, like I said, for many years to come on preserving the cleanliness of your blood. Actually, did I say that or haven't I? Yeah, let's scare you a little bit if I haven't mentioned it. So everything that I'm recommending to you, and I don't care if people right away, as soon as you hear it, you quit because it just seems too hard or insane. But essentially, this detox process shouldn't be done for a week, shouldn't be done for a month, shouldn't be even done for a few months. No, this should be a 2-year commitment minimum. If it scares you, too bad. That's your problem. I got to be tough on this. But after you've been actively detoxing for 2 years, then afterwards it should be a lifetime commitment. Now at a more relaxed schedule, but you should be actively detoxing your body as I am. You're seeing, if you haven't, check out my posts, check out my videos, for how long I have been fasting, for how long I have been detoxing. And that will give you good health in this polluted world in the 21st century. So right away to your commitment, I want to scare you. I want to force you to really commit to this. It's a make it or break it moment, and you can't be weak about it. And it's your health on the line, long-term health, long-term vitality, long-term prosperity. And so 2-year minimum and then lifetime. So now that I scared you, back to point number 1, cleaning your blood. What do? So water, just clean water. It's mind-blowing what it can do. I, every day for now many years, have been drinking between 2 to 2.5, sometimes 3 liters of water. Lately, because my body is fairly clean, I know it, I feel it, I feel the energy and health. I've been drinking 2 liters of water, and it's good for my body mass. I weigh 90 kg or about 200 lb. And so for those of you who weigh more or less, you calculate. There are various formulas out there, and then also judge by the way you feel after drinking a certain amount of water. Experiment and test with that how much water you need, but it should be a good amount of clean, filtered water. And here I got a quick story for all of you on how water was just mind-blowing and how it saved me from a very debilitating and serious illness. It wasn't everything that I did, but I'll make a video on that, on this subject later on specifically, because there were other factors and actions that I took. But essentially, very quickly, since my childhood, I had serious eczema, and it went away at some point of my life, and then in my early 20s, it came back, and it was so debilitating that my entire hands were covered with serious eczema. The skin was destroyed. If I were to do like this with a finger, if I were to close my wrist, literally at a certain point in my life, the skin was so weak and damaged that it would simply crack and blood would come out. It was nasty. And the eczema spread all over the hands, all over my body. I have pictures. Stay tuned for that video. But I toughened it out. At that point, I realized that drugs were not the solution, so I toughened it out. I pushed my limits. Eventually, it got so bad that I had to use drugs. I had to go to the doctor and get what I used in my youth. I knew that cream. It is essentially a prescribed steroid cream that you put on your skin. It essentially kills your skin. Well, it suppresses all inflammation, but while suppressing, it makes your skin very thin. You'd move a finger and it would cut and bleed and so forth. And I was holding out for so long that while fully realizing that drugs were not the answer and that cream would not lead me to anything good, I just had to use it. And I used it once, I used it twice. I believe I counted how many times. I would stretch it out every second or third day. And I used about 10 times. Before, when I was a kid, I was using it non-stop and it was just nasty. But as I got older, I realized it was not good. But I knew it was like a band-aid or a first aid response solution when things got really bad. And I'm leading this to water. It's important. But I just remember, like the 10th day or so, I used that cream and I realized, okay, I just suppressed the inflammation. My skin is thin, white, and like it's like dead body white. And it's not bleeding that much, but what am I going to do next? And at that point, somehow, that realization hit me. I knew about water. I was drinking water. I tested water before. I forgot about it, and then I returned, and then I hit that contrast. I was using that cream. I knew I had to stop. I essentially, okay, I'm stopping it. What do I do next? And okay, I'm going to try water. And poured a bottle of clean water for 2 liters. I'm going to drink it all today. I got to do some. I drank it. And the next day, I saw that my skin got substantially better. The second day I drank that again at 2 or maybe even 3 liters. Maybe when I'm probably lying because I was drinking way more. First day I maybe drank 5 liters, which is not good for you. It's too much. Then the next day I drank maybe 3-4 liters. And I stuck with 3 liters at that when I first really started drinking water. And I should just simply mention that you can drink too much water, and that's unhealthy for you. So figure out the right amount. But essentially, by day 3, the effect of just purely drinking water was more effective. It just healed my skin to a greater degree. It wasn't fully recovered. It took me many more steps and ways to heal myself to fully recover from serious eczema. But it healed my skin more than the cream. And that just blew my mind when I could see it. Here I was using the cream, hormonal, steroidal cream that was weakening and poisoning my body, and slightly, I admit, alleviating my eczema. And then I was drinking water, and the water was making me healthy, cleaning out my body and my blood, and had zero side effects. And I was thinking, why wouldn't more doctors prescribe water for eczema? Anyway, but I mentioned eczema also for a very specific reason. Because the reason, as I then did my research, as I started diving in, is that the reason eczema was flaring up, it was all over my body, it was getting worse, is that I had high blood toxicity. That's why I knew eventually why water was working. I understood the mechanics of it all. And so I will discuss that in the eczema video, why blood toxicity, how foreign substances, food, and other toxins entered my bloodstream, and I had to essentially clean out my blood. But I wish to point out that don't dismiss water very easily. Oh, it's just water. It's not going to do anything. I know. I was at a point of my life that I was literally an invalid. My skin was totally destroyed. I was feeling unhealthy. And I will be sharing more with you of my unique adventures. And then, boom, water hit me. And I became quite healthy. So, cheers. By the way, I'm 100% healthy, no eczema, can eat whatever I want. Well, I stay away from drugs, but even if I take any drugs, legal or illegal, never in my life have I taken illegal drugs. Never. Haven't even smoked, ever. Nobody was able to peer pressure me in my youth. But anyway, it's another story. So that's that. I really wish to point out the importance of and the power of water. But some of you may be already drinking. I know I get a lot of you health nuts that are following me, and you're doing good. And water is just, we got many more steps to cover. Like I said, long video. So, the next step on cleaning your blood is something that everybody knows, but not everybody does. That is sweating. You got to sweat. There's no other way around it. You got to sweat like a high-performance athlete. And that sweat has to come from internal heat and external heat. So internal is just simply crazy workouts. Just go out there, sweat it out. I don't need to explain. Just do whatever fitness you wish to do to sweat, and sweat a lot, sweat buckets. And that's internally generated heat. The external heat is, of course, saunas, baths, anything, sunbathing, an extreme beautiful sunlight that is healthy for you. We'll talk about that actually in another video. But sweat buckets, and if you are using external heat such as saunas and bath, do many rounds. Like, heat yourself up gradually, intelligently. Don't go killing yourself. Again, a disclaimer. Of course, you can hurt your heart, you can hurt your brain, you can pop some blood vessels, you can do a lot of damage with heat. So both with the working out and saunas, everything should be increased gradually. But once you get used to it, you can take quite a lot and you start sweating buckets. Obviously, replace electrolytes. Understand that sweating will draw a lot of nutrients from your body, but with sweat, toxins will leave your body. And you must sweat. There's simply no other way around that. And that will clean your pores, and that will clean your blood. 100%. So, sweat. Nothing else here to say. The next step may be a bit controversial from perspective that you will be dropping a lot of directly quote-unquote toxic blood that after being vaccinated, or just general blood that may be in you if you're not living a good, healthy life. But I will make a disclaimer for it as well. However, one of the best ways to clean your blood is going and donating your blood. As you know, I'm a regular blood donor. Now, I have to admit, I donate for benevolent reasons, but I am fully aware of the positive aspects of donating blood. There are plenty of them. I made a bunch of videos. However, in this video, what concerns us is simply losing a healthy, reasonable amount of blood, which is exactly the amount that you will be donating, as they calculate that amount specifically. So it's safe for you. And once you lose it, obviously, your body will have to create new, healthy blood. And thus you are cleaning out, you're getting rid of old blood, creating new blood. There you go. You have just cleaned your blood. Very simple. Here I just can see a lot of people thinking, well, now I'll be poisoning those poor folks who are getting my blood. And yeah, it may sound somewhat unethical, but don't worry about it. I've regularly been and go to blood donation clinics. I see that people who are donating blood, and they are not that healthy of a people. 100%, 99.9 of them have blood that's probably more toxic than yours, even at a point after being vaccinated. Of course, most people that donate blood already have been vaccinated, so don't worry about it. The people who need your blood need it way more than being concerned about its toxicity. And obviously the blood clinics are responsible for screening it from both viruses and other toxins. So it's a good thing to do. May sound unethical to get rid of your blood simply to clean it, but not a big issue. And as you become healthier, you can continue donating blood, and your blood will be precious. It will be clean, healthy, and the patients that will get injected with it will get suddenly like a boost of energy. And finally, we're still on step number 1. We got 5 more points or steps to go through, and each step has various subcategories that we have just described. So finally, on step number 1, I have homework for you. So what I recommend that you do is, at your own free time, look at various cleanses that will detox your liver and your kidneys. And why you wish to detox those organs, well, and cleanse them essentially, is because they filter your blood, they filter your fluids, they are your filters in your body. And so look it up. There are many. Maybe speak to a nutritionist, speak to various health professionals on how to cleaning and detoxing them separately. There are various procedures. Test and experiment for yourself what works best for you. And so to recap, point number 1, clean your blood. Drinking water, I drink 2 liters. Sweat, I sweat a lot. Fitness, saunas, baths. And donating blood. And homework, liver and kidneys. So there you go. Usually one video like that and people are already blown away, but we got a lot more to cover. So let's move to point number 2. I have to essentially say here at this point number 2, I'll make a separate video on it. Right now I just wish to make you aware of this, but it is a separate video that I wish to make properly for all of you. There's a lot of little steps there to be made. If I go into full details here, it's going to be too long. And so point number 2 is simply this: clean your gut. You gotta essentially, your stomach and your intestines, you gotta clean out the entire digestive tract. There's a way I do it specifically, but in your own free time, again, another homework for you. Look into various procedures. The procedure that I will recommend to you in a video that will either follow this one or will be made shortly for sure. Stay tuned for that. I will give you my method on how I beautifully detox and clean out and purge my entire digestive tract to a point that your gut will be rejuvenated. It may be even a bit somewhat controversial, but hell, if you got constipation, if you got gut damage, if your digestive tract is not working properly, or you simply wish to optimize it, boom, stay tuned for that video. However, I encourage you to look into various methods and procedures, because cleaning your gut, this is where essentially all your toxins are also pulled in and expelled from your body. So the better it works, the cleaner it is, the healthier it is, then the healthier you will be. So that's very important. Moving into step number 3. And that is essentially my way of life. I would say I've written for myself that it's a healthy lifestyle, but I wish to point out that it should be a ridiculously healthy lifestyle. And don't dismiss it as some sort of a slogan. It should be a ridiculously healthy lifestyle from now on, meaning you're eating clean food, you are drinking clean, good water, you are breathing clean air, you are taking control to the best of your ability of your environment in which you live, and you're exercising, and you're doing everything that I essentially have been preaching in all my other videos. All of you really, I believe, truly know what healthy lifestyle is, and just some of you just don't wish to admit it because it takes a lot of effort. I already mentioned a whole bunch of things that you can do, but staying fit, eating healthy, really healthy, you gotta do it because that controls your regeneration processes. It's very simple. It's not just some general statement. You gotta live a healthy lifestyle to live a long life. No, that will impact your cells, your tissues, your muscles, your fibers, how your organs will work. So you gotta live a ridiculously healthy lifestyle to the best of your ability. Running, doing push-ups, fasting occasionally, maybe even trying a little bit cold water swimming. Get after it. There is no other way. It will strengthen your body, and thus, even if it may not detox you for sure, but it will detox, because you will be breaking down cells, you'll be creating new cells, and that is the natural process of rejuvenation, of regeneration of your tissues. As that process happens, your body will expel toxins. Obviously, if you live healthy, no new toxins will enter, old ones will get out of your system. It's self-explanatory. Elementary, Watson, elementary. But I believe I said fasting, and that is point number 4. Now we're getting to the meat and bones. Everything, believe it or not, everything I already said is the easy stuff. Is the stuff that most of you probably will be able to do. But here, if many of you haven't quit when I said 2-year commitment, then when I mentioned fasting, people will start quitting. There is no other way. This is where the actual detox begins, like the real powerful stuff. However, it's important that I put it as number 4. I didn't put it at first, but it is like essentially the core of this video is this, fasting. I'm gonna briefly cover this subject, but and because I already have a lot of videos, maybe I'll point to, maybe you'll find them, just write my last name and then fasting, or on my channel, I have a whole bunch of videos about fasting. But I didn't make it first, although I should have. But first is for healthy people. Right away you can start with fasting. But the reason why I made it for all of you is that I'm realizing many of you may not be at that level of health, may not be at that level of body cleanliness from blood and tissue perspective, from that perspective, that fasting may be too early for you. And so you want to clean out your body with water, with sweat, with donating blood, eating healthy, and then maybe after a week or 2 or a month of just being generally or living a generally clean new life that I'm recommending for all of you, then you can get after fasting. And the reason is this: when you start fasting, a lot of people will may experience extreme side effects. And that is because if there's a lot of toxic substance or toxins stored in your body, especially in the fat tissues, that's where usually the body kind of drops all the toxic waste, is that it engulfs it in fat and deposits it in where fat is deposited in your body. And so as you start fasting, you start breaking down those fat cells, and suddenly all these toxins hit your blood. And people may get rashes, eczemas, they may feel extreme tiredness, and so forth. So fasting is that procedure that should be done when you are getting to a relatively clean state and a healthy state of being, so to get the full benefit. But fasting is done regularly as well. And here, as you know, I fast regularly. My minimum fast is 36 hours. Essentially, I wake up. Well, no, I start in the evening. I have my supper around, let's say, between 7 and 9 o'clock. That's it. No more food. I go to sleep. I wake up. Full day, I don't eat anything while continuing my schedule, working out and so forth. Then I go to sleep hungry, and then I wake up, maybe go for a run, do whatever, and then around 11, I get my first very light meal. So that's my fasting, and I like it. That's 36 hours. Recently, I went for 72 hours, and you can go longer, but the longer you go, that's more professional, and you need to know how to get out of that state properly, how to break essentially fasting. But 36 hours, anybody can do. It's great for you, but you have to do it regularly. I said it a million times in my fasting videos. So if you're serious about your health, it's once a week. If you don't think you can pull it off, try once every 2 weeks. But once every 2 weeks is your bare minimum. This is how often I try to fast. Now, because I'm that healthy and that clean, I occasionally do once a month, sometimes because I just don't feel that I have the need to, but it's still regular. All year long, I am fasting on a somewhat consistent basis. When I was talking about eczema, when I realized how fasting was of great benefit to my body, I was essentially fasting for a whole year. I fasted once every week. And that's that. But you can research fasting on your own. But there is a big but. And that is if you're serious about your health and you're really concerned about what has been injected into you through a vaccine, then there is something that I will say about fasting that I never essentially fully talked about in my other previous fasting videos. And that is, I mentioned it, but I haven't fully explained it. And you guys asked me about it. I recently did such a fast, not from vaccination reasons, but I just intuitively felt I want to do it. And I felt fantastic after. However, again, it's essentially a different type of fasting. And so let's start with regular fasting. I recommend you do it every week or once every 2 weeks for 6 months or regular fasting. I've been talking in English for now over 30 minutes. My English may start to fade. Remember, I'm Russian, and okay, doesn't matter. I will do my best. So bear with me. I may misspeak now words. I feel it. My tongue has got enough of English already. But, so regular fasting is this. You are not eating anything and you're drinking water. That's it. Clean water as much as you like. That's it. No coffee, no watermelons, no nothing. No food is entering your body for the period of your fast. But you are allowed to drink as much water as you like. Just make sure it's clean. That's regular fasting. Some people call it water fasting. Regular fasting for me. But then, as I mentioned in my other videos, and I'm going to go into detail about this now, is what is known as dry fasting. And that freaks people out. And dry fasting is no food, and guess what? No water. And so here is the theory behind both. So regular fasting, you're essentially cleaning out your pipes, your blood vessels, you're getting the water hits your bloodstream, and you're just mechanical cleaning out all your pathways, your cardiovascular system, your veins, your capillaries, your stomach, your intestines, but everything that water can get into, that essentially flushes it out. Also, you're not eating, and there's benefits to that as well, where your body goes into the fasting mode and it rejuvenates your body. There are other biochemical processes take place while you fast, but with water, you are, well, you're keeping yourself alive with it, obviously, but water is what does this wonderful cleaning for you. And do not do dry fasting until you have cleaned your body very well. I'll explain shortly. That's why I'm saying regular fasting for 6 months minimum. If you are starting from a point of just regular human being with regular toxicity of your body, if you've never done healthy living, you have never detoxed, none of that, 6 months, my precaution. But after those 6 months, what you can do is try dry fasting. And this is really the gem of this entire video. Gem is a diamond, or a precious stone. This is where it's at. This is the most powerful detox, and this is the most powerful way that you can clean your body, period. It is incredible. But you have to essentially, like an athlete, prepare your body for the dry fasting. Dry fasting, like I said, no water. I know people, personally, that went 10 days without water on a dry fast. They were ready for it. And I've heard of people that went ridiculous amounts over 30 days, which science says is impossible. I'm telling you, people did it. And so you don't have to go that long. You can still do the 36 hours if you want to go. Recently I did, like I said, 72 hours without food or water, and I was working out, and I felt like this huge rush of energy because my body was prepared for it. And people have experienced that phenomenon before. But the theory behind dry fasting is this, is once you restrict, you stop all intake of food, that's natural. But afterwards, once you restrict water to your body, then the body has to draw water and energy from somewhere. And what it will do, it will start breaking down not only fat, but all cells, muscle tissues in your body. And your cells primarily consist of water. So naturally they will break apart and you will start essentially eating your own body. And while in a very long term, for people who are unprepared for it, that could be detrimental and dangerous, in a short term, especially when you do it regularly, what will happen is that as your cells break down, they will start releasing all the toxins. And those toxins will eventually start leaving your body. And especially, it's essentially literally a cellular cleanse of your tissues. And as many of you know, vaccines can get into the cells. They can penetrate deep into your tissue, and they may not get out easily. Not just vaccines, various heavy metals, drugs, chemicals. Some of them penetrate quite deep, and just regular fast will not be able to get to those cells, to the deep tissues. There, losing my English accent coming out. Okay, and that is why dry fasting. And if you wish to feel good during it, if you wish to feel energy, again, that disclaimer, you wish to detox your body, you want to do everything that I already mentioned before you get to dry fasting. But dry fasting, that's the procedure. That is essentially what will truly, deeply, and most effectively detox your body from vaccines and other serious chemicals that may already be in you already. And that is dry fasting for all of you. You can look into it separately, like everything that I mentioned. Research it on your own. Don't just take my word for it. See how others have done it. But with dry fasting, 36 hours. Some people go for intermittent fasting. I've tried it, but to me, to be honest, I'm saying it openly, I just don't consider it fasting. If you just eat in the morning and then eat in the evening, in the middle, or however you wish to break up that time, to me, you gotta wake up, go full day, then go to sleep hungry, and then wake up again, and that's when I consider the full cycle of fasting that is complete, at least one cycle. Obviously, you can take as far as you like. And I believe that is when the actual detox happens. So, there you have it. The biggest part of this video, dry fasting, but you need to get your body ready for it. And finally, number 5 is, I kind of already mentioned, like crazy healthy lifestyle. This is essentially a page from that book or from that point number 3, but this is point number 5, and it's a standalone point. And that is, I specifically am using this word, crazy fitness. Gradually, don't go crazy right away, but there is a reason to this madness and craziness. And crazy fitness is you have to get after it. You gotta become really, really fit. If it scares you, too bad. But what you are trying to do is you are trying to cause, in a healthy way, that maximum reasonable amount of physical stress. And what you're trying to do with the physical stress is simple. You're trying to essentially break down and destroy old cells and then force your body to create new cells. That is detox in itself. And simultaneously, you're trying to burn fat. That is obviously, as I mentioned, storing toxins in your body as well. And essentially, if you get after crazy serious fitness, your body will start to rejuvenate itself. It will start to heal. That is the secret to long, healthy lifestyle, long, healthy life, because you are destroying old tissues, old cells, and you are creating new ones. In the process, they're breaking up and getting rid of the toxins. But it's got to be crazy. Like, I've seen people, I recommend it to some of my friends, and I'm just seeing they don't get it. They're not doing it. It's just like you moving dumbbells a little bit, or they're just doing for a kind of a relaxed 1 kilometer run or 1 mile run. Like, no, that's not going to do it. Because I've seen people, well, I'm not going to praise myself here. You guys be the judge whether I'm into crazy fitness, but at the same time, be it young, middle-aged, or old people, or from older, my father will take issue with that, but you can go see my father. He is over 60 now, and he is into crazy fitness. He can do more pull-ups than me. He can do more push-ups than me. He's getting after it, and I'm quite proud of him. We're all proud of him. But he is just kicking ass and taking names, just ridiculous fitness, and that's preserving his health. But aside from my immediate family, I've seen people, you all know them, at various stages of their life. They're into like solid, awesome, continuous, regular fitness, and they are fit. And that state of being will keep you healthy, primarily because of simple reality. Like I said, you are causing physical stress. Physical stress will rejuvenate you if you do it properly and you just don't destroy your body for just no apparent, without a plan, without a proper recovery procedures. So don't do that. You must heal, you must regenerate, take proper rest days. So it's crazy fitness, but it's there's a process to this madness, and it has to be done right and professional. There's a lot of people, a lot of experts, a lot of crazy fitness experts that will give you plenty of various routines and exercises and guidance on how to, again, gradually, professionally, slowly bring up your fitness levels, and literally you start building it. If you want some advice from me how to get into crazy fitness, and you're an unfit person, well, it's very simple. Every day, do 5 push-ups or pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, do 5 push-ups. And then as you get that part of, and make it part of your routine, just 5, make it easy. Get it in there every day, in the morning, midday, evening, whatever. Get your 5. It's extremely little for those who are fit, but what you're establishing is discipline of getting it every single day. And then as you get to 5, start getting it to 10, and maybe to 15, then to 20. And as you discover, your chest becomes stronger, your arms become stronger, and suddenly you can do the pull-ups, and you can add now to your 15 push-ups, add 5 pull-ups, and slowly and slowly and slowly you build. And you're doing squats, you're doing abs, you're doing a whole bunch of things. But the way you get into physical fitness is simply starting small and then gradually small incremental steps, and you're building up your strength and your muscles higher and higher, and one muscle group will attach to another, and suddenly they become strong. And that way you don't need to go and feel intimidated in some sort of a gym where a whole bunch of exercise equipment, various weights, whole bunch of muscle dudes who seem to be all set and already doing crazy fitness, and you're comparing yourself and you're saying, oh, this will never happen. Gradually, at home, every day, eventually you will start doing more push-ups, a little bit more pull-ups, start running a little bit longer and longer. Suddenly you feel you have better cardio, and suddenly you can do sprints, and you build and you build and you build on top of your already established strength. Simple as that. And simultaneously, you're building discipline to do these exercises. And you just small incremental steps, baby steps for all of you who are not into crazy fitness yet. And a year down the road, boom, you've discovered that you're doing 50 push-ups and pull-ups, and you're sprinting, you're running 13K, and you're deadlifting various heavy weights and so forth. So that is how you get into crazy fitness. It's an awesome life. A fit body will expand your capabilities, and you'll discover a whole new world if you don't know. But it's in this particular video, there's a whole bunch of benefits to a fit body, but here, because we're talking about detox, what you are going after is causing physical stress. Controlled physical stress to your body. Like I said, it will break down your old cells, create new cells, and rejuvenate you, detox you. No need to repeat myself. And so at this point, some of you who really know your stuff, you may say, well, what I am really concerned with is that vaccines will cause genetic change to my body. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's false. There's various information out there on this subject. But if we are to suppose that this may be a possibility, a lot of people are concerned about that, then everything that I've just described, you must realize will impact your genes. And the way it will impact is through this essentially process called epigenetics. Essentially, it's a science that studies the effect of the environment on the gene itself. And what you've just created through all of these steps that I have explained to you is a new environment for your genes. And your genetics, according to epigenetics, should begin to change. Essentially, if these pharmaceutical substances, vaccines, and so forth, other than doing what they're designed to do, if they cause side effects in your body, have some sort of a side effects to your genes, then hopefully we're all running in this gigantic experiment called life. And like I said, a lot of people, even scientists and doctors and professionals in this field, still don't know what the hell they're doing, because we're all kind of moving forward blindly in a direction of hopefully a bright and prosperous future, at least those who are following this channel. But I can't guarantee you that this will actually change your genetics for the better, but it's your best shot and you got no other option. And epigenetics is a science that states that, or studies the impact of the environment on the genes. Like I said, you just created the most healthiest, most prosperous, and most awesome environment in your body for your genes, and hopefully even in your surroundings and your habitat, that it just may restore your genetics, if not improve them substantially. And that is my answer to those who are concerned about the genetic impact of vaccines. And finally, let's finish up this video. I've been talking for quite a while with this. So bonuses. Winter swimming. And it's just not just winter swimming, it's cold water swimming. And it's also that contrast between hot and cold. Very important, quite beneficial. It's not directly involved with detox, but it does strengthen your body. It makes your immune system much stronger. It makes your cells healthier. And so the contrast between the hot and the cold. And aside from that, just getting after winter swimming. As you know, I'm a regular winter swimmer. You can watch all of my videos. I got a whole course on how to start winter swimming gradually and go lifetime with it, with all the disclaimers and all the things that you should watch out for and things you should be concerned and pros and cons and so forth. Check that out. Get into winter swimming. It's an awesome activity that will get you really healthy if you do it intelligently. You can kill yourself with just about anything. But winter swimming done intelligently will strengthen your body and all the benefits. This is not a winter swimming video, so go check it out on your own. Additionally, I can recommend Wim Hof Breathing Method. I practice it. It's a unique method. Go listen to such a awesome guy who is also known as the Iceman because he does crazy things in the ice and in the cold water and gets after winter swimming aggressively. But Wim Hof Breathing Method, additionally, there's a lot of research. He shares it, how they strengthen immune system, how they get the body healthy, get the mind healthy through his type of breathing. I'm just giving shout out to Wim Hof. Go check it out. And finally, a bonus. Go check out my video called, what did I title it? How to have a strong immune system during a pandemic. Go check that video out to strengthen your immune system. I go by point. It's not as long as this video, but there's a lot of good stuff there, and you should definitely watch it. And because this is now outside, this is a bonus to the bonus, because so many people will ask me about supplements. I'm not a supplements expert. There are certain supplements that I take that I feel help me, that I feel strong, that help me regenerate my body and keep my both cardiovascular, immune, nervous system healthy. That I will recommend to you. They should not hurt you. And these supplements are, number one, vitamin C, just non-acidic, and I do mega doses of vitamin C. I would run a course of it and I would stop. But mega doses 2-3 times the recommended dose. And the vitamin C is extremely helpful to tissue regeneration. It has a whole bunch of other benefits. But what I like about vitamin C is when I learned about it, but it has to be non-acidic. Because if it's acidic, you take a larger dose, it will mess up your digestive and stomach, not good for you. But non-acidic, find whatever brand that works for you. You can take 2, 3, even 4 times the dose, depending on your body damage. And I've heard that it is quite beneficial for detox from various health experts. So I do take, it's not continuously, but vitamin C when I wish to regenerate my body, mega doses. I like it. I can recommend it. I felt good afterwards. And it's a good vitamin to have in your body. Vitamin D, check it out, research it. I get my vitamin D from the sun. But I know a lot of people who advocate a lot of vitamin D. I sometimes take it, sometimes don't. It's up to you, but I just be aware that vitamin D is also recommended when you are detoxing because of a lot of its benefits and health on your system. And finally, what do we got? Iodine, good stuff. Activated charcoal, very popular in Russia from just simply because when you ingest it, it just draws up all the toxins from your stomach. Activated charcoal, give it a shot. Then bentonite clay, spirulina, chlorella, and so forth. Research all that extra stuff on your own. I can give you some sources. I don't take all these substances on a regular basis other than iodine and activated charcoal, but bentonite clay, spirulina, chlorella are known. They essentially act like charcoal. It's either some sort of a clay or an organic supplement that goes into your body, and they are known to detox or help you detox yourself. To what extent, which doses, consult with experts on this subject matter. I don't go into this, why I'm putting supplements as last. It's not as important because everything that you ingest is still not as effective, in my opinion, including vitamin C, as your physical actions that you are taking, such as fasting and crazy fitness, for example, or just sweating excessively, other than water. Water, I stand by. Ridiculously awesome for detox. Vitamin C and vitamin D, everything I mentioned, that supplements, addition, speak to professionals, nutritionists, or doctors who really understand and who you above all respect as dietary experts. And finally, make sure that they work for you. Make sure that if you are taking it, you are feeling some sort of a benefit. And that is it. That is everything that I wanted to say to all of you. So let's go over very quickly over all my points. So no more pharma and drugs. Clean your blood. Drink water. Sweat. Donate blood. Clean your gut. Stay tuned for that. Live a healthy, crazy healthy lifestyle. That means clean food, water, air, environment. Then you fasting, regular fasting for 6 months. Then you got dry fasting once you have cleaned out your body with everything we already mentioned. And then you go after crazy physical fitness. Just getting after it. Causing good, healthy physical stress. Destroying old cells, creating new cells. Hopefully all of that will impact your genetics through the process of epigenetics. And it's a 2-year commitment right away for intense cleanse of your body, and then a lifetime commitment for everything else. Winter swimming, Wim Hof, hot cold, my immune system video. Check that out. And all the supplements I already mentioned, vitamin C, vitamin D, iodine, activated charcoal, chlorella, spirulina, bentonite clay. Boom. Now you know what to do. You are set. You have watched this video, shared with others, and the only thing I can say is that I wish you the best possible health. I'm doing my best to stay healthy. Look at this. Strong, confident, healthy. You're seeing my workout vids. You're seeing my active lifestyle. You're seeing the optimism. And I just want you to have the same. And thus, spending time, taking time of my busy schedule to record these long videos for all of you. And there will be more of them to come on various subjects about health. I'm committed to your health. Let's end this video with my motto. Those who are with us will thrive and prosper. Those who are not with us, well, we wish you luck.